Hello, hello, hello. I am making a video in the garden with gloves because it's cold. So, anyway, I want to talk about psychology, and I noticed that there are men out there in the world who would like to hook up with a woman, but instead of doing anything in that direction of hooking up with that woman and making her feel comfortable, they do everything in their power to make her feel uncomfortable. They come in the chat room with old women's photos, and I know that those very old women would never come in the chat room with those terrible photos. I would never come in the chat room with a bad photo I made. So I try to make myself a little bit more pleasant, and with the right light and all of that. And so I know that these photos, they got them somewhere on the internet. And they come in the chat room with old women photos to make a statement against me. Okay, they're trying to tell me that I look like an old grandmother, and then they tell me I look like a man, and I look trans, and then they try to extort nudes, and they all say I don't believe it until I see it. All of these vicious Twilight Zone tactics, that they use all the time. And I have been trying for years and years and years and telling them, you can do better than that, you can be nicer. But some people, they can't be nicer, because if they're nicer, then what happens? What happens if you are nice? Okay. Then they say, I tried nice, didn't work. Nice didn't work? Wait a minute, you came as this Robert Mackey, okay? And that was Zane, and you stole these photos. You're probably the same age as Robert Mackey, I would assume, okay? But you never show your real photos because you don't want me to turn you into FBI or whatever, Interpol, So, no, you came to me as this Robert Mackey, the artist, okay? And then you just collected a bunch of photos from men on the internet, and you would say, this one is from when you were young, and that one is the current photo. I don't believe the Robert Mackey, but I don't believe it anymore. I believed it then. I totally fell for it. I thought, an artist, he's nice, and he's helping people, and he tries to come across as good Samaritan and all of that, and he wanted to help me, and he did all kinds of things. But then I saw the same pattern with Zane, and so I was wondering about this, but then I thought, oh no, he can't be knowing all of this about the Indian the original Indian traditions with Hinduism and Sanskrit. I mean, that can't be, right? Does Zane know about all of this? Maybe he does. So I have so many questions about this, but I fell for that Robert Mackey, and he had to, of course, even as a pseudonym account, he had to have a second girl that he had there. So he had a girl already on his angle or whatever, so reeling in and she wanted to be with him, but he wanted to test me or something, and I didn't know whether that's all real or not real, but I think that was made up, that girl that he had. That is a psychological tactic in order to psychologically make me think he has another woman, so that he then, if I leave him, doesn't have to feel defeated, or which is shouldn't make anyone defeated, but the ego feels defeated. And so if he can tell me he has another woman there, then he wouldn't have to feel so defeated or humiliated by me leaving or whatever, and leaving him behind and saying I want to be free, I want to flirt with other guys and so on. And he also wanted to forbid me to go into the chat room, that Robert Mackey, which is really that was really Zane, that's Philip Jones, that's Tex-Mex, that's Simulacra Virus, Viro guy. He's all of those, okay? That's the thing. He is all of those. And maybe it's that guy that lives in this room was a mosquitoes are coming out. So I don't know who that could be that guy. I don't know. I have no idea. It could be anyone. I have no idea. So I don't know. I don't know. That person never revealed himself to me. His identity is how he actually looks. So he plays these games with me, and then out of fear that if I don't want to go into this extreme bondage, tight-knitted, monogamous relationship, then if I don't marry him, right? First of all, I'm never, ever going to marry someone again, okay? This was a big mistake. We did that to save taxes and to get me that dang darn green card, and for all of these reasons, and for no other reason, because both of us, Paul and I, we are not traditional, and we don't believe in all of that crap. Okay, so if you find someone to become your life partner, that's based on other things, not on some kind of certificate. That's based on, can I trust this person? Can I count on this person? Can I count that this person is going to lock the van doors and the front door? Can I count on this person to not be discombobulated all the time? Can I count on this person to not fall up on the stairs of an airplane or crap into his adult diapers or whatever? Can I count on this person, particularly when it comes to personality? Can I count on this person to always treat animals well? Okay, always, and always treat me well. Okay, so that's the complete foundation for a life partnership. I'm not talking about necessarily a sexual relationship, okay? A lot of people don't even have that with their life partners. This is the truth, okay? Because they grow together like Paul and I, and they grow apart in the sexual way, because Maybe they weren't even really compatible to begin with, but they stayed together because they are mentally compatible, at least to the degree that they can count on each other. And we're not even mentally compatible. We're not compatible in almost any kind of point, except for animal rights, political issues, who we support politically. Donald Trump. We want to make the world a better place. This is huge, absolutely huge. I mean, at least we have that. We have the foundation together here, okay? And whether we're married with this lousy certificate or not means absolutely nothing, What means something is that he's my best friend. He's my bestie, okay? And I can count on him. And he's old, and I don't need another old guy. I really don't. I sorry, no offense, okay? I don't need another old guy. I'm gonna be radically honest with you here, okay? That's the only way we can deal with this, is through radical honesty. There is no hope for me getting involved with another old man. There are very few old men that I like, that I find attractive. One of them is Daryl Anker. He is a channeler. He channels Bashar. Okay, he lives out there in LA. He has a long-term marriage, happily married, real strong bond, in a good bond, a good friendship, a good relationship with love and everything. So, and there's no way I would ever take him away or try to lure him away. Never, okay? And he doesn't even know that I commented there. I'm shadow banned, heaven banned. And it doesn't matter, If I would love to meet people like this, to talk to, absolutely crave for people to be friends with. I would never take him away from his wife. I would respect that. But that is like one of those rare old men that I'm attracted to. Most old men I'm not attracted to. So who else who is old and I'm attracted to? Oh, my number one. But he's no longer alive. My number one, Al Capone. Okay, so Al Capone is my number one, always will be my number one in terms of attraction level. I don't know, the stuff I heard about him, it doesn't sound so good, but that could also have been a lot of slander, because he was actually helping homeless people, believe it or not. He's been painted in such a criminal picture by society, but in reality they were all criminals, because it seemed like, and I think Al Capone didn't care. That's how he grew up. It was like this cat and mouse game, It was this Hunger Game type of situation that he grew up in, out there in New York City, and surrounded by all criminals. So he had, it's like, in order to gain any kind of leverage, he had to do some illegal things that he probably himself didn't think they were so bad. And particularly when it came to establishing his authority, in that area. So there were always gangs that were ganging up against each other, and they were big time ganging up against him. And he had people that supported him, and they were defending him, and he was defending himself. and they did retaliation. This is like how gangs and mafia works, which I'm against, okay? So, but he probably didn't know what else to do in that situation. But he had a wife he loved, and he cheated on her, and she probably cheated on him, and he probably was not possessive and controlling. You know, he knew the human species is not monogamous, and he was kind of like a natural person, and he helped homeless people, and he probably helped animals too. They wouldn't even talk about the animals. So someone who cares and loves, they care about and love everyone, every living being. The caring and love is for every animal, human, anyone. So someone who really loves, they don't love only this one group. Okay. Love is universal. Love does not have some kind of cult or religion. The moment you're in a religion or a cult, you call it love, but it's not love, because you are adhering to this cult and you're identified with it, and you want to be a leader, a cult leader or a guru, and you identify with that. And the moment you do that, you're absolutely not in attunement with love. Okay, so, but I believe that Al Capone had love in him. I really do. I believe that. And he's a hottie. He's absolutely gorgeous. And, well, he died a long time ago already. So, but, yeah, he was my grandmother's generation. Very old. Born probably somewhere around 1900. Long time ago, right? And so that's, my grandmother would be way over 100 now, but she died way too soon. She died when I was 13 from all kinds of problems, and she had these health problems because she was in a very, very miserable and unhappy marriage with my grandfather. Very miserable. Very sad, all of that. I always think about what would I do if I could go into a time machine. I would go back. I would rescue my grandmother. I would rescue Brittany Murphy too. I would rescue all kinds of living beings if I could go into the time machine. That'd be the only reason why I would go into the time machine, right? I mean, it would be like a duty almost to do it. And that's also what Helena Petrovna Blavatsky says in her first volume of The Secret Doctrine. In the very beginning, she has a disclaimer in there, and she says, and a warning, and she says, do not use the occult for selfish purposes. Use the occult only to help others and to protect yourself, for nothing else. Okay? And anyone out there who uses remote viewing and other occult practices, love spells and so on, if you do that for your selfish purposes, you're going to have to really pay for that with some really heavy karma. Okay? There are karmic consequences to those things. Be warned about it. I don't want to see you end up in a really bad situation. I don't wish it on anyone. I really don't. And karma is the law of cause and effect. Okay, so karma is not the blue god doing this to you. It is not even your enemies doing it to you. It's you doing it to yourself. It's your own sabotage. It's you putting yourself into a situation where karma strikes. Okay, either direct karma in this lifetime or karma in a future lifetime. where your soul says, oh, I missed on understanding this whole picture. I'm gonna have to come back as a woman and see what that's like, what that Nikki Daisy had to go through, right? What that's like, and feel that suffering and feel how that feels to be in a chat room and have this the Twilight Zone trolls come in with their vicious troll accounts, vicious names that they know they fuck the mind. It's like MK Ultra mind control. Yeah, it's just it's very, 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 very painful. It's very painful for every woman to be treated like this. And the women that say that they don't care or it doesn't bother them, they are lying. They are lying to you. It bothers them, it bothers me, it hurts. I don't know you. It's like, then you come back and you say, are you thinking of me? I don't even know who you are. How can I even be thinking of you? I think of the abuse. It doesn't turn me on. It is not something I think back of and I want it again, baby. The abuse, right? No. I don't want that abuse. I don't want this to happen again. I don't want to fall for someone again like Robert Mackey or whatever, the old artist. So there's a bunch of young men I'm attracted to. My number one hot babe is Ishmael Perez, but he is obviously in a relationship and he's happy, and I'm not going to take that away, and I'm not even going to try, and I'm not even going to cry a tear or anything or run after him and throw myself at him. No, I'm not going to do that. That's ridiculous. I've done these things in the past. I learned my lesson from it. I'm not going to do it again. Okay, so no. And I also like Louis House. I like Robert Edward Grant. Those are the guy. Robert's my age, so Louis House is I don't know, about 15 years younger than me, and Ishmael is like, I don't know how old he is, 30 or something. So it could be my child, my baby. So anyway, yeah, those are my types. Al Capone, you already know what my types are. Okay, so I like the Danny photo, the MK Ultra photo, not MK Ultra, the mind control I do not like. Okay, so those are they had some photos. I don't even know if that's their own photos. And if they show themselves in a video, I don't even know if that's their own video. They have robot video imitation and all of this. They already had that years ago, I think, the underworld at least. So I don't know what to believe anymore. So anyway, the underworld wants to think of themselves as almighty, as having the total power over other people. But obviously that comes from mental illness, to want power over other people. I've explained that so many times already. There is this black man that they caught, okay, and they interrogated him, in the interrogation room, because he's murdered like 100 women. And they wanted to know why, okay. So he said that's the only way he could get sexually aroused, if he murders a woman and then rapes the dead body. Okay. So there are some others like Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer, and there are some others. Okay, there's quite a number of those that are like necrophilia or something like this. And the reason, I've always never understood it, why that is. So I heard there are even men that rape corpses in the morgue. And so that there's some kind of like it's an underground type of thing. It's a fetish for some. And where does that come from, first of all? Why is that black man, why does he have to murder women and then rape them? Why is that the only way he can get sexual pleasure? Okay, so sexual pleasure on cost of other people's lives, first of all. That doesn't seem to cross his mind too much. It's like, it's disposable, right? They're just disposable, one-time use items, trash cans. They are his trash cans. So where does it come from? Dig in, that's all I can say. Dig into your own mind. Why is he doing that? He's doing that, that's what I believe. He's doing that to feel like he has power over her. He's doing that. Why does he want power over her? He wants power over her so that he can feel in charge, so that he doesn't feel like he has no power psychologically. He doesn't feel like she can walk away anytime, or she can also reject him right up front, and that would hurt too much. So it's better he kills her and then rapes the dead body. That's what's going on in his brain, okay? Because he does not feel good looking. He doesn't feel empowered from within, okay? He's not happy. He feels like he chases everyone away, and he probably has, because he has trauma, and he has never worked on the trauma. He never goes over to the woman and says, "Hey, can you just give me a hug?" And get rejected 1,000 times until he meets someone who says, "Yes, here, I'll give you a hug." And then he can ask her, "Would you sit there on the park bench with me and hold hands?" And she would say, "Yes, there will be someone. It's guaranteed to be someone like this." Most will probably reject you because most people are afraid of men in general, okay? Most people are afraid of strangers, okay? There's a reason for it. But there will be someone who will say yes. There will be maybe a woman with Williams syndrome or Down syndrome, or someone with severe autism, or a savant, or someone who is dark, or whatever, Someone who will say, "Yeah, I will sit there with you. I would. I will sit there and hold your hand to make you feel better because I have deep compassion." Okay? And then see what happens. He wouldn't do this because he would feel defeated if he did this. So, and this is not just this guy. Okay, it is a phenomenon that is happening worldwide. Maybe not to this extreme, but that is what the entire incel community is about. The incel community is about hating women and doing mean things to them, and being voyeuristic stalkers, okay? And that is all in that direction, in the same direction. It goes in the same direction with the necrophilia guy. Okay, so, and it is infinitely sad. It's hell. And I know that we can fix this in the world. We can make the world a better place. I know this 100% to be true, that we can fix this. This can be healed. But the only way it can be healed is if you overcome your ego, your ego resistance of going over to a woman and saying what you actually want. And complimenting her, making her feel comfortable, you know. Not telling her she looks old, like an old grandmother, or not telling her that she looks like 100, or whatever, or not telling her she looks like a guy. Okay, I mean that would already be a start right there. That would be a real good start. You actually go to her as yourself and you say, I really like you. I mean, now, can you imagine? It would open doors for you if you did that. But your ego doesn't allow it, because you would feel defeated. You would feel like the ego always says, then you're a simp. Then you're begging the woman. Then you're too thirsty, and all of these things that go through your mind, all of that monkey talk, okay? And it just sabotages you, that monkey talk. It's throw that in the recycling bin and recycle it into empowerment. Empower yourself, okay? And go out there when you see a woman, you see a girl that you like, go over there. It doesn't hurt to try. Go over there and say, I like the way you look, you're very cute. Can I invite you to a jamba juice, okay? I invite you to a carrot juice or carrot orange. That was always my favorite in LA. Yeah. So I will pay for it, and we can sit there and drink the juice and talk a little bit about our lives. You have no idea how many women would absolutely, I mean, it would change their lives. They would feel loved. They would feel like there is someone who likes me, actually, not someone who hates me. Okay? You could touch someone's heart. You really could. You can make someone's life better by doing this, by overcoming that ego. So this is the truth I'm giving you here, okay? Take care.